Hi, this is Samit from Talksonground. Hope you're all well. If you thought that Operation Sindoor, which India launched against Pakistani terror targets and then it escalated into a military conflict of some limited kind, was really related to terrorism only, then you ought to rethink. There is a unseen, unreported fight going on, which I call the globalist versus tokenist fight. And this is a very deep rupture that is happening in our geopolitics, our geoeconomics, and the whole post Second World War order. This is going to change everything that we believe to be true in our geopolitics, our geoeconomics, and so on. So, what is really driving this change? Where did it start, and what's happening? That's what we are going to cover today in this video, and I hope uh, you will comment on what you think. I've just used the word tokenist. I can also call it something else, uh, but maybe I can patent it. Who knows? Well, so this show called fight between tokenist and globalist did not start today. It really started way back, and it started basically in 2008. As you know, in 2008, there was a global economic crisis, a global financial crisis, which was spurred on by the uh, Lehman Brothers collapse, and the US financial system was broken. Now, right after this happened, something else took birth, and that is of great import. Something called Bitcoin was born. You must have heard it. Some of you might have some Bitcoins around. And crypto has been around for a long time now, almost 15 years. But remember, it was invented by someone we don't even know who he was. We know he was somebody called Satoshi Nakamoto. He really never came out publicly, and after some time, everybody forgot about it, never talked about him, and it's kind of strange, right? Um, and to give you a sense of how large or how big this is, I'm just going to show you some slight numbers. Okay, so the stock market around the world total is of the size of around $110 trillion, which is equal basically to the global GDP, or give or take a few trillion here or there. While the cryptocurrency market is a puny $2 trillion right now. It did go up to 3 4 trillion 3 4 years back, but then something happened that made it crash. The US Treasury market, which primarily makes US dollar as the reserve currency, is about $25 trillion, and it is held by a lot of different sovereigns around the world. So that is how the US power matrix, as you know, was basically the liberal order was really a combination of IMF, World Bank, the SWIFT system with the US dollar primacy. And this is what the basically the globalists were controlling, and the globalists, as we call them, have been at the forefront of opening trade and basically having free trade within countries. Of course, from the US standpoint, they were just using this fiat dollar to control everyone else, because they could sanction anyone as they controlled SWIFT. However, this story took a little turn around 2021, when India and China both, 22, when India and China both, almost in a coordinated move, banned cryptocurrency in their respective markets. Of course, it's not an outright ban. Even today, you can trade cryptos in India, and I guess in China also, but there was a important shift. What was the shift? The shift was that all the mining of the cryptos, which was almost 75% in China at that time, some of it in Kazakhstan and other places, shifted. And it was completely banned by China. And that was a big blow to the crypto market, and that's when the you can say uh, the downfall of Bitcoin kind of started, though it has revived right now. Just to recap, the globalists control the World Bank, FATF, SWIFT, the US Fed is a part of it, IMF. So this kind of controls the whole financial markets. And the Bitcoin, on the other hand, is like a decentralized finance, which no one really controls, or at least no sovereign actually controls. So US Fed is a sovereign agency controlled by the US, basically the US government. But Bitcoin is not really owned by one individual or by a sovereign nation as yet. And I guess that is exactly what kind of might change. Now, what really triggered all of this, uh, the change that I'm talking about, is the appearance of a man called Donald Trump on the scene. Now, Donald Trump was elected on January 20th, 2025 for his second term. And very, very interesting. I will show you something which will give you a sense of what I'm talking about. Uh, I'll share. Um, okay, I will bring it up. You'll have to give me a chance. Now, this is his second term. He was there in the first term for 4 years, but we all know how it went. So, there's been a bit of a churn, and here you go. Wow. So 22nd of January, 2 days after Trump was elected, he announces private sector 500 billion investment in AI infrastructure. Now, this is not AI per se. This is basically also which will fund AI and blah blah blah, and it will also a lot of these people will be involved. But the point is that all of this was really a sideshow. The main show was really about the US. Now that they have 75% of the mining of cryptocurrency, which is earlier with China, uh, they want to build and kind of control this cryptocurrency. Now, I must explain as to why India and China did what they did. And that is where something called BRICS comes in. Now, BRICS has been on for many, many years, but basically, they've been talking about a shift in the currency. There's been a shift to de-dollarization for a long time, but nothing has really gone ahead. And right now, last year around August, there was supposed to be an announcement of a BRICS currency that has not happened, and that is a shame because a few months later, Donald Trump got elected, and as I said, he talked about AI investment. Now, remember, you will need a lot of AI infrastructure, which in turn is really powered by electricity. So, mining needs a lot of electricity, and that will be utilized for, uh, kind of managing the system. So, the 2021 break from India and China was really about having their own currency. So all that you're seeing in the last 5 months of or 4 months of Donald Trump is really about either protecting dollar or replacing the dollar. Now something else also happened, and what was that? It was let me now share another screen. Okay, I can't show it right now, so I will just talk about it. So basically, what happened is on in early April, the U.S. administration had a chat with the Pakistanis. Basically, you can look it up. It's all published. The U.S. Government released the transcripts. Basically, they don't talk much, but that was, I think, around the 9th of April when Donald Trump had just announced tariffs, and there was talk of India and US having a trade deal. Uh, on 26th of April, the Pakistani officials met with the folks from the Trump family, and they announced their intention with WLF to start some sort of a crypto deal where Trump has 60% ownership. I will definitely try to bring you a couple of visuals that'll uh, help our story. Um, okay, so this should help us. So you can see how deep Donald Trump has gone in terms of creating this crypto team, as I call it. So there is Kelly Whitlock, who's basically Pete Hegseth's sister-in-law, and there was a World Liberty Financials meeting in Islamabad, and they discussed cryptocurrency initiatives in Pakistan. Now, all of this sounds very nice. Pakistan has about 40 million crypto users. They don't have much of a stock market, and the economy is kind of tanking. It's not a large economy. So, there is a lot of speculative trading that Pakistanis do, and the government, for whatever reason, hasn't clamped down. And it seems all of this is above board, even from the FATF standpoint. Now, this fellow Gentry is very important because he's the one who, it seems, managed the whole deal on the back end. Now, there are two things. What is not visible here to the right of Gentry, it says representatives from Dubai and Russia. Now, you got to remember that there's something else that was also happening, which is that, if you think from India's immediate neighborhood, India has great relations with the Gulf right now, and it imports a lot of oil from there, and there are a lot of Indian expats that work in these Gulf countries. So it's a very important part of the Indian diplomacy, India's outlook. So it's not to be taken very lightly. Now, the fact is that this Saudi Arabia and UAE, they signed a deal with Donald Trump for petrodollar continuation, I think on the 12th May, 12, 13, 14 May. Now, you would think that why is this important? Because you see, when you're trying to de-dollarize, you also need a backup plan, and you also need to kind of damage India and China, who are the biggest consumers of petrol and diesel from Gulf countries, and also they were the ones who were trying to kind of usurp dollar and bring in a new currency. So that is why they needed to be neutered, and neutered they have been, I must say. So what has happened is that Trump has used his whatever influence to get the Gulf to re-sign dollar as a currency for trading in petrol in dollars, and that should really please the deep state in the US, which Trump is fighting because they really want the primacy of dollar continuing. But on the other hand, he has also, now this is the big one, I will show you. So basically, there was a meeting, there was like a conference of crypto on the May 29th, and I'm going to read this out. In a move that has drawn both global attention and geopolitical scrutiny, Pakistan's newly appointed special assistant to the Prime Minister on crypto and blockchain, Bilal bin Saqib, unveiled the country's first government led strategic Bitcoin reserve. Do you read that? Government led strategic Bitcoin reserve. All right. So that is the big shift. Now, what does this mean? It means that the Reserve Bank of Pakistan is now going to hold, apart from dollars, bitcoins. And Trump has been talking about bitcoins as a reserve currency. right? I mean, indirectly. And now I've shown you that he's already made that move. Now, what does this mean for India and China, who were trying to replace the dollar, and for Pakistan, which has pretty much bartered all its sovereignty into Trump, especially after an immediate military defeat. And you can also now connect the dots when it comes to India's military response. Now, please understand, there is no country in the world of the size of Pakistan which is willing to kind of sign a deal like this, because Bitcoin as a reserve currency is not been tried by anyone, is not accepted. We don't know how high or low it will go. It is basically in private hands, in the sense that you can't really control. And the words he used, which I have not shown here, but this was kind of mentioned that all the dealing will be FATF compliant. So all of this is built in. So which means if I go back to the slide that I showed you, he's saying that it is FATF compliant. So, in a way, this means that they are going to replace globalism with this privately owned, in a way, a single family owned system of crypto, where reserve banks around the world over the years, it's not going to happen right now, but Pakistan is the first country to do this. And uh, you could start seeing that, the Reserve Bank of China or Russia, not Russia, but say India will start saying, okay, we need to have a reserve for cryptos as well. And originally, the plan for China was to, release its own digital yuan, but that plan has really gone to talks, if I may. So this is the original name I've given, globalist versus tokenist, because these guys, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, JD Vance, and as I showed you, there's this Pete Hegseth, his sister-in-law, and then this Beach fellow. They have come up with this plan to basically shift all the crypto mining to the US, own the whole ledger from the origin to the destination, do all the mining. Once they do all the mining, if they own the blockchain, basically they become the owners of that so-called reserve currency. So this is a very, very interesting move in the financial markets. You must know that Russia, Dubai, as in UAE, and Saudi Arabia are in on this plan, and that explains their slight pivot away from India in recent times, in recent weeks, especially. And during Operation Sindoor, there was uh, a little bit of, should I say, hesitance on the part of these sovereigns to come out very openly in favor of India. In fact, they were saying, don't hit Pakistan too hard. Why? Because Pakistan is going to be the first guinea pig of this experiment. And in my opinion, it'll fail miserably, because these flows are completely non-transparent. This whole so-called blockchain, which where the records of all the transactions are kept in multiple places, is really non-transparent for a non-trained person. There is no way to really measure flows. It's a So you're basically handing over your sovereignty. Instead to US Federal Reserve, you're going to hand it over to a single family, or maybe a group of families who's going to own these AI farms and electricity grids in Texas and Wyoming or what have you. So I thought it's very important to bring this out and bring you up to speed as to what is happening, what people are not telling you about what is happening in geopolitics. I said that this is related to Operation Sindoor. I must explain that once India came to know what the plans are, the only way they can put a spanner in Pakistani works, if this crypto deal was to work out, India will not find it easy to have them grey listed in FATF. Even if they did, the financial inflows can happen anytime. India cannot track it, and that becomes a security threat. So now you understand why India would want to diminish, destroy uh, really the Pakistani military as soon as they can, before something like this takes, takes shape and becomes the global order in the years to come. So, thank you for watching. This was Sumit. I will want to know your comments about this analysis and what I've pieced together over the last few days. And if you think there are missing pieces or have I overreached in any aspect, please let me know. Do like and comment and share this if you liked it. And subscribe to the channel. This is Sumit from Talksonground. Bye bye.